All right. Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday morning, early morning Bitcoin. Brandon, Crypto Talk from Los Angeles. We're going to get started in just a second. Let's see who we have on so far. I see Bethany Gibbs from Seattle. Latifa, good morning. Lashana from the Rich. Keenan Smith, good morning. Michael Williams. You guys are having a good Sunday morning so far, and you've had a great weekend. Not over yet. First week of October is in the books. Getting ready for the new week. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share suggestions, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to go into. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1. Oh, wait. Before I do that, I just saw something here. I got to change my mood just for a second.
GoDaddy can help make
Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling today. All right, so let me say this again. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make it happen? Make a decision, take action, and stay focused. Do not get distracted. Now, these rules are not going to guarantee you success, but they will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I see Brenda Abram Court Gomes has joined us. All right. Let me actually turn on screen share. First article up is basically a breakdown of this week. This week in crypto. So you should be able to see my screen in a second. EOS takes a vow, Malta at the UN, and an $8 billion valuation this week in crypto. EOS takes a vow. Hear my voice all over again. Make sure you check out our previous edition here. Now let's go cover what happened in the crypto this week. Also, make sure you subscribe to this week's edition. Yeah, whatever. Price watch. Bitcoin is down 1.11% this week following a stable few weeks. Bitcoin is up 1% this month and continues to oscillate around the $6,500 level. Yeah, it's been flatlined right there for a while now. Ethereum is down 4% this week to $222. Despite the negativity around some of Ethereum's fundamentals, analysts are gaining confidence that Ethereum bottomed out at $170 after a long slide backward from over $1,000 at the peak of the great bull run of 2017. The entire coin market cap is down around 1.8%, and what's been a slow week on price movements. Ripple declined precipitously this week. Bulls and bears. Bitcoin will not challenge gold as a safe haven asset equity analyst, writing in Morningstar Research Services short-term investment commentary series, The Morningstar Minute. Equity analyst Christopher Inton noted that if Bitcoin did begin to replace gold as a safe haven asset, it would represent a seismic shift in the investment case for the precious metal, as 40% of gold demand comes from investors. For this reason, Intron thinks the shift is unlikely. You are on the wrong side of history. It just hasn't happened yet. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. CTFC chairman Giancarlo, the chairman of the CFTC, stated in an interview with CNBC that cryptocurrency is here to stay. Even if it never achieves the ultimate goal of becoming the world's leading currency, as Square CEO Jack Dorsey said that he believes it will. I agree with that. However, that statement's wrong. Cryptocurrency isn't going to become the world's leading currency. One of the coins in cryptocurrency is. Cryptocurrency represents all of them. Jack Dorsey believes that Bitcoin will be that leading currency. I disagree. I think Bitcoin is going to be the digital gold. And another currency, one of the other coins, is going to be the day-to-day world currency that everybody's using for buying, selling, and day-to-day stuff. What that coin is going to be, I don't know. Could it be Ethereum, Ripple, Dash, Monero, Green? I don't know. Bitcoin Cash? Yeah, Bitcoin Cash is a better chance than Bitcoin itself. Someone asked me before they asked me this question. Let me answer it because I'll get a million hits afterwards. Brandon, why do you think so? Why? Because ain't nobody trying to sell their Bitcoin. They're trying to hold on to that because the value is going to go skyrocketing. It's going to be very, very precious. Do you realize that there are more Bitcoin wallets out there than there are Bitcoin available? That means every single Bitcoin wallet cannot own one full Bitcoin. If you just spend $1,800, you're in the top 1% of the cryptocurrency world. You realize that? That's why it's so important for now that you own at least one full Bitcoin before all the other wallets gobble it up. And that's with only 8% of the American population owning a wallet. What do you think is going to happen if 40% of them open up a Bitcoin wallet? You got to get on this now. Tokens. Tether dominates 98% of stablecoin trading volume. Chinese billionaire Bitcoin investor done investing in blockchain projects. Who is he? Li Jiolei, the founder of Beijing-based venture capital firm Bitfund and a widely recognized billionaire Bitcoin investor in China, has publicly stated that he will personally move away from the blockchain and ICO space. Well, okay, your prerogative. You already made your billion. More room for us. Block.one vows to use its EOS tokens to prevent voting cartels. When cryptocurrency development firm Block.one concluded its ICO and released the first version of the EOSIO software, it didn't just raise a record $4 billion in crowdfunding contributions. It also received 100 million of the 1 billion EOS tokens distributed through the network's Genesis block. Now, the well-funded blockchain startup is vowing to use those tokens to stave off any block producer voting cartels, whether they are present now or arise sometime in the future. Okay, I see what they're doing. Blockchain startup is vowing block producer voting cartels. What that means is there's, when nobody owns Bitcoin as far as a company, but whenever an upgrade needs to be made, the miners and the developers vote on it. And sometimes they can be outvoted, and that's when you have a fork in the road. So what they're trying to do, they're positioning themselves to stave off that because they have a controlling interest. The XRP is very clearly decentralized, says the Ripple CEO. Really? Really? The mere fact that you're CEO of Ripple disqualifies anything being decentralized. That's just, I don't want to say an asinine statement. The Ripple CEO says that Ripple is decentralized. Then there shouldn't be no need for a CEO. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, in a recent interview with financial news outlet Cheddar, spoke to some of his critics' concerns this week. Garlinghouse, who was speaking on the sidelines on the Ripple-sponsored industry conference Swell in San Francisco, said that he believes XRP is very clearly decentralized. The only way he can get away with this statement, and I know what he's trying to do because this has been a long-running debate, that Ripple and XRP are separate. Ripple is a company. XRP is a coin that is not controlled by Ripple, the company. That they've been trying to make that argument for years. So good luck with that one. Governments. Malta Prime Minister talks crypto at the UN General Assembly. The Malta Prime Minister, Muscat, emphasized that recognizing the potential of the blockchain, Malta has openly embraced the crypto market and businesses within it, leading the global cryptocurrency sector with favorable regulations and practical policies. The island has been rewarded with investments from the likes of Binance and endorsements by its CEO, Zhao. TechCrunch founder outraged at US SEC. Michael Arrington, the co-founder of TechCrunch, announced that his venture capital firm has decided to move out of the U.S. and relocate to Asia after the SEC sent 2 subpoenas to XRP Capital. Outraged by the decision of the SEC to crack down on local companies and investment companies, Arrington added, the U.S. has already been left behind. You guys hear that? The U.S. has already been left behind. You as an individual do not want to be left behind. You cannot rely on the government to watch over you and get your back. It is in your hands. As Bouger sent to me earlier, Bitcoin is freedom. Yep, I'm going to run with that one. Exchanges. Will Coinbase achieve $8 billion valuation? Do you realize that? Coinbase is only a couple of years old. $8 billion valuation. Tiger Global, a UK hedge fund that invests mainly in global consumer brands, is reportedly considering a $500 million investment in Coinbase, which would boost the startup's valuation close to $8 billion and strengthen the cryptocurrency market's legitimacy. According to sources that spoke to Recode, the investment would make Coinbase one of the highest valued U.S. startups. Years ago, nobody ever heard of Coinbase. BitMEX taps former Hong Kong regulator as chief operating officer. Okay, don't care about that. All right, that's news for the week. Let's go some international news about Venezuela. The socialist country. All right, Venezuela. Venezuela demands citizens pay for passports with petro. Demand? You demand they do it? You're going to force them to do it? Well, they don't have another choice because their national currency is dead anyway. Venezuelan authorities have found another way to impose the adoption of the state-issued cryptocurrency, the petro. Citizens will soon have to pay with the government-controlled digital coin if they want to obtain a travel document. Hundreds of Venezuelans are leaving the crisis-hit country every day. Stop right there. I hope you guys have a major, major red flag pop off in your head. For those of you that are Christians, that believe in the book of Revelation, the end times that says if you do not accept the mark of the beast, you will not be able to buy or sell goods in your country. I want you to think about that for a second. How could something like this take place? Well, if your country's money has a 1,000,000% inflation rate in 1 year and you can't buy crap with it, the government imposes its own digital coin that they call the petro. You decide, I don't know if I want to use a petro. I'm going to do Bitcoin because it's free. And then the government says, hey, if you want a passport, the only way you can get the passport is if you buy it using the government petro. They ain't going to take no Bitcoin. Next thing you know, they're going to say, if you want to buy gas in this country to drive your cars around, you can only do so with the petro. Next thing they're going to say, if you want to buy groceries, the only way you can buy groceries is with the petro. Then they're going to say, if you want to buy property, if you want to pay for where you live, we are only going to accept the petro or you will be homeless. Do you see how it is not theory anymore? It is not language in a book written thousands of years ago, whether you believe in the Bible or not. This is taking place right now. Now, I want you to replace the country Venezuela with the United States. You don't think that can happen here? Versions of this has already happened in our history. After the Great Depression, when we got removed from the gold standard, the printing of new fiat money, it has already happened here, just not in our lifetime. But in our lifetime, we may see the greatest depression in American history. That's going to make the 20s and 2008 look like child's play. Our dollar will be worthless. the federal government, in an attempt to save things, is going to implement the Fed coin. You're not going to be able to buy or sell without the Fed coin. You're not going to be able to buy gas, groceries, pull your money out of the bank, travel. They limit you. I mean, if they take your passports away, you can't even travel out of the country unless you are using the Fed coin. And since this is a digital cashless society, it's not like you're going to have a physical Fed coin. You might be given a debit card, or wait a minute, what if they decide to give you a chip? They chip you. I'm not going to go down that route right now. Let's finish with this article. Embracing Maduro's crypto. Venezuelans might not have embraced the national cryptocurrency yet, but their government has adoption on the agenda, and it's looking for ways to enforce it. You see that? Enforce it. Citizens of the economically battered South American country have been leaving their homeland despite its president's attempts to restrain the record hyperinflation, resuscitate the ruined economy, and circumvent mounting U.S. sanctions. The introduction of El Petro, the oil-backed state-issued token, has been at the core of Nicolas Maduro's plans to improve the socio-economic situation. Many Venezuelans don't have great expectations about his proposed reforms, including the idea that a government-controlled cryptocurrency can bring tangible change. They have continued to depart at a daily rate of 5,000 people. To do that, they need a passport. You see that, how they're doing? You can't eat in our country. You can't survive. And we don't want you to flee so that you can save your family. So we're going to take your passports away so you can't leave the country. Look at that. To do that, they need a passport. To obtain it, they'll have to overcome another obstacle. Travel documents will be issued in return for Petro. President Maduro and his leftist administration have not spared efforts to promote the digital coin that has raised many doubts. Some say it's not backed by anything. Others claim it's not really a crypto. It's not. It's digital. It's a digital state-backed currency. Recently, authorities in Caracas made it an official unit of account, along with the redenominated petro-pegged Venezuelan fiat currency, Bolivar Soberano. The sovereign Bolivar. The government tried to impose it in this role both on businesses and banks. Now it has decided to put it into the wallets of Venezuelans, those who are trying to leave and then take it as a fee. 2 petros equals 1 passport. New Venezuelan passports will cost 2 petros, equivalent to 7,200 bolivars, $115 US dollars, or 4 minimum monthly wages. Are you kidding me? It takes 4 months of a minimum wage in Venezuela to earn $115 US dollars. Can you live off of that? That's crazy. I had to pause on that one, just thinking about that. Vice President Rodriguez stated Friday that during a televised press conference, local and foreign media reported. This is another reason why Bitcoin is freedom. It takes you 4 months on minimum wage to make $115. You can make $115 owning Bitcoin in just one day with the price of it going up in value. By the way, the token has not even been issued to the public yet. It's expected to go on sale on November 5th. Earlier this year, Maduro and his people announced the coin had attracted $735 million on the first day of its private pre-sale. Earlier, Venezuela issued a white paper for the Petro, a new document published recently, reportedly copied from Dash. Are you kidding me? All right. They come up with their Petro. And I've been covering this since January when it was announced. And then they release a white paper for it, right? But the white paper is copied from the Dash white paper. And this is an entire government that did this. Freaking joke. It shows that the crypto isn't backed by oil only, but also by some of the country's other riches, such as gold, diamonds, iron, and aluminum. You couldn't even write your own white paper. You copied it from Dash. Oh, man. This week, Venezuela's socialist leader was quoted saying that the petro doesn't need to be mined like other digital currencies as it already has a value. Maduro said the Venezuelan coin will be launched as a national currency and claimed it was already present in the world's 6 topmost international exchange houses, as news.bitcoin.com reported. You like my laugh, Bethany? I'm sorry for laughing. I'm just saying, really. This past Friday, Venezuelan authorities announced the creation of a new police unit. Here we go. See, if you're gonna try to force something, you need to have a police unit to do so. Everything that's happening over there can happen in the United States. All right. So they have a new police unit tasked to deal with migration issues. The South China Morning Post reported. South China. What is China doing in Venezuela? Yeah. China is all over this crypto stuff. They banned it in their own country, yet they are all over the blockchain around the world. All over it. They're buying up Africa. They're also in South America. Better pay attention. We better wake up. So anyways, the South China Morning Post reported, tired of constant food shortages, lack of running water, and power outages, many Venezuelans have been leaving the country through illegal border crossings, mainly on the 2,200-kilometer-long border with neighboring Colombia. Almost 1 million of Maduro's compatriots have already moved there. This is a mass migration. 1 million people? They're going over to Guyana as well. This is a mass exodus taking place. History is going to record this. Vice President Rodriguez said the new force will guard 72 exit points, ports, and airports, another hurdle for Venezuelan immigrants. You might as well build the Berlin Wall all over again down there, because they need to force their citizens to stay. If you have a fleeing population, you have a fleeing tax base. Wow. I mean, excuse my language on a Sunday, but shit is about to hit the fan. And it's going to be a domino effect around the world. And what we're witnessing is what could possibly take place. I'm not even going to use possible. What will take place elsewhere? What could happen in the United States? All right, last article up. Hackers. Anybody Facebook account got hacked recently? What did Facebook say? Like 500 million accounts got hacked all at the same time a couple of days ago. If your account got logged out all of a sudden, then yeah, you know how to make sure you go in there, you change your password and everything. So hackers sell stolen Facebook accounts on the dark web for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. The dark web is the hub of stolen information that usually includes social media accounts, credit cards, and many others. After Facebook confirmed that multiple user accounts on its social network had been breached by hackers, batches of related credentials surfaced on the dark web. As expected, the sellers of this information are accepting and actually prefer payments made in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Recently, Facebook affirmed that several user accounts on the social media platform were hacked. Really? Just several? Is that what they want us to believe? Thank you, Kathy. 50 million. They want us to believe that just several. Since when is 50 million several? Apparently, over 50 million accounts were compromised during that hack. Last time I checked, several's like 2 or 3. It's not even worth noting. 50 million, change the password. Now, as mentioned above, these accounts were on sale on the dark web. Now, every time I look up now, somebody's sending me a message. Don't accept the friend request from me. My account's been hacked if we're already friends. You guys getting that? Although such data is often fabricated, the independent newspaper believes that in this particular instance, real accounts are on sale. Currently, the price range for stolen social media accounts is between $3 and $12. This implies that personal information is not highly regarded in the dark web. Moreover, these accounts are often sold in batches, meaning that even the criminals do not make much money out of these transactions. All right, here's what they do. They buy these accounts in batches, right? Take over the account. Then what they do is send friend requests to anonymous people. The moment you accept their friend request, they then start sending you information, whether it's links, whether it's a promo, whether it's advertising. Some of them is just advertising because they're getting paid off the click banks. Other is malware, which means if you click on the information, the link, then it's going to download against your will or knowledge malware onto your computer to steal your data more. It's like a double breach. That's why I'm very wary on who I accept Facebook friends from, Facebook requests. I always go to their page, look them up. Do we have mutual friends? 1. What are you talking about on your page? 2. And then I may decide, you fellas out there, you start getting friends requests from pretty girls all of a sudden out of nowhere, and you're not used to that. Don't get excited and accept the request. You should see what I get bombarded with. And every now and then I got people say, Brandon, I sent you a friend request. All right, this seems to be happening a little bit too often. What I do my lives through my Zoom account so I can share screen. But I also do not use a microphone because I have this thing hooked up to my big TV and I walk around, so I can't have the microphone in my hand. So I use like my Bluetooth headset so I can walk around. But whatever reason, the line just drops. Anyways, let's continue. The most popular way of paying to acquire such stolen data is through digital currency payments. Presumably, a majority of these transactions involve either Bitcoin Core or Bitcoin Cash. This is rather surprising, given that these two coins lack true anonymity in their transactions. Instead, one would expect the criminals to prefer a privacy-oriented virtual currency such as Monero. That's another reason I think long-term Monero is going to thrive, just because of its anonymity to it. Monero is going to thrive as more and more exchanges start cracking down and wanting to bow down to the IRS. Like right now, the newest one is Uphold. That's turning into almost like a Coinbase. Now, I haven't gone that far just yet, but they're the next step. And they want, no, I'm not going to share any of that personal info on that one. Anyway, let's get back to this. Who buys stolen personal data? If a hacker manages to sell 50 million Facebook accounts at $3 each, they would rake in a whopping $150 million. The challenge, however, is finding a buyer for such a large number of accounts. Also, the Facebook team has a record of the compromised accounts. It can suspend them if any suspicious activity is noted. The possible deletion of accounts is not enough to restrict hackers from breaching social media platforms. This is because, besides the logins, these accounts usually contain additional information on the owner that can be used for other criminal activities. In a recent report, Money Guru, a UK-based firm, elaborated the risks of having a social media account breached. The report stated that social media platforms are the ideal targets for criminals who want to steal personal data. Also revealed that the data is usually sold to private companies and in some cases government organizations. That's right. Be careful. Let me look at my Facebook for a second here. Friend requests. So let's see. I've got Valentina, Gina Ray, Stephanie Janai. Okay. Anon. There's a picture of a girl with the name Anon. Might be wrong. Evelyn Baird showing her breasts. So, these type of stuff I would just delete when I go through. I got to make sure it's not one of our business partners sending me something. But be careful who you accept as a friend and you're sharing information with. All right, so that is all the crypto talk for this morning. Tonight, I'm going to do late night crypto talk. I've got this article I wanted to cover. Blockchain could be a $7 billion market and a major boost to Amazon, Microsoft, Bank of America. You know what? I'm going to cover this right now. Wait, how long is this? Yeah, I'm going to cover this one right now because tonight I'm going to be doing a members only. You got to be a paid member of KGX because I'm going to cover this topic. Blockchain, the invisible technology that's changing the world. That's going to be for paid members only in KGX tonight in our paid member group. That is information you are not going to want to miss because I don't just read the article. I break it down, giving my own opinion on this sucker as well. So let's do this last article and then I'll go ahead and dismiss for the day, get my day started. Blockchain could be a $7 billion market and a major boost to Amazon, Microsoft, Bank of America. Bank of America says. Now, this is covered by CNBC, so this is national news. National news is covering this. But Bank of America, this is who they're quoting. So you want to pay attention to this. Assuming that 2% of servers one day run on blockchain, Bank of America estimates the technology could be a $7 billion market. The firm identified 9 companies that stand to benefit from eventual mainstream adoption of blockchain. All right, these 9 companies, you might want to write them down. Why? Is next level investment stuff, including Amazon, Microsoft, and Oracle. Amazon will benefit from incremental cloud services demand from blockchain implementation, while improved supply chain tracking should make Amazon's retail operations more efficient, says Bank of America research analyst Kash Rangan. You know what? I'm going to stop right there because this goes hand in hand with what I'm going to cover tonight. And since we're talking about possible investment opportunities, as a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I'm going to save this article also for tonight. So I just gave you a teaser. So this article we will cover tonight in the paid members only for KGX. So that's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific. You might want to pass the word to your team, and anybody that is not a member, you might want to sign up and join, because this is the benefit you get for being part of our network, our community. All right, so that's all for it for now. Thank you for joining us. I will see you all tonight. I hope you learned something new. As always, that is the point. And before I leave with that, there is one thing I want to make sure that I state, because this is very important. And I did this last night. Brandon did a Facebook Live last night. What? Yeah, I did a Facebook Live last night because I was sent information. And the information literally stopped me dead in my tracks. And you know what? I'm actually going to read it again, since I didn't finish that article, and I want to be fair. This was an article, it was done by Robert Kiyosaki. And it was about why you should care about crypto and Bitcoin. Why should you even care about it? See, it's the question that I'm asked most about crypto, and people wondering if they should even care about it at all. And the reason why is there's so much disinformation that it is hard for anyone to know anything about this new asset. But that is what cryptocurrencies are. They are assets. And assets put money in your pockets. So yeah, you better learn about crypto, because crypto is what the airplane was in the 1930s, what rock and roll was in the 50s, what the internet was in the 80s, what the smartphone was in the 2000s. In other words, crypto is one of the biggest, most innovative movements we may ever see in our lifetime. And that's simply because crypto is going to change money. It's going to change money. And in changing money, it changes our whole life, our society, and our culture. Imagine what will happen if you don't. You could lose everything you've been working for. Now imagine that you do learn about this. You do accept KGX and learn about cryptocurrency. You are lucky to be alive, because you are at the birth of a new asset class. That's like being alive at the Big Bang or creation, the birth of gold. The problem is the media is not honest about it. They're ignorant of it at best. The asset is so new that it is growing daily. And as it grows, it changes and morphs and spiders in so many directions. You can't use the news to keep you informed. You have to educate yourself. Cryptocurrencies are the secret weapon on the front lines of cryptocurrency wars. Bitcoin is freedom. All right, everybody, have a great day. I will see you tonight. Late Night Crypto Talk, Bitcoin Brandon. Have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.